Jesus. The Passover meal was over. The whole city of Jerusalem is sleeping except for you and I think we should return to the upper room and get some rest for the rest of the night.
Well, Thomas, I'm going away, as I told you at supper. I must prepare for my journey.
Well, would it be a lot easier to prepare if you were well rested? I know I'm only one of the disciples, but the rest of them are like me, they're pretty tired.
And my enemies do not rest. Even now, they too are preparing for my departure. I must prepare too.
Well, how come you prepare the few things that you have in Gethsemane, or in Bethany, and our feet's taking us to Gethsemane? What can you do in the garden this time of night?
Oh, I need nothing for my journey but the assurance of my Father's word in prayer.
Keep speaking of your departure. So you're going away. Over and over at the supper you spoke that way. I said we cannot go with you. Yeah, we have gone everywhere with you. For 3 years and more. Why not this time? Are you going to abandon us?
No, Thomas. It's true I'm going away, but I would never abandon you. When I am gone, my Father will send the Holy Spirit. He will comfort you and help you, be with you forever.
Forgive me, Jesus, but this isn't making any sense to me. You're going away and we cannot come, but you won't abandon us. In the upper room, you said we couldn't follow just now, but later we would. Just where are you going, Jesus? And if we're to follow, how are we going to find the way?
Thomas, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
So you're on your way to the Father, Jesus?
Yes, Thomas.
You speak of the Father so often, but Jesus, who is the Father, and where is He?
I and the Father are one.
Well, now I really don't understand. Jesus, we have confessed you as Christ, the Son of God. But how can the Father also be the Son?
I am always the Son, and He is always my Father. Yet we are one. And the Spirit whom Father and Son send after my departure is one with us.
Well, if He was to show us the Father, then we could understand.
That is what I've done, Thomas. He who has seen me has seen the Father. The words I speak are the Father's words. The works I do are the Father's works. Hear these words and see these works in faith, and in truth you will know the Father.
Well, then why must you go away, Jesus? If we know the Father through all that we hear and see, wouldn't it be better if you just stayed?
I'm going to prepare a place for you, a mansion of many rooms.
A mansion. Well, if you'd let me come now, I could help you build it. I mean, so could the others. We're all just fishermen, but with a master carpenter, like you showing us how, we could get it done in no time. And we'd never have to be apart.
I must build a mansion myself, Thomas. You cannot help me. Though the mansion has room for all, the Father has called me to build it alone. With 2 beams and 3 nails, I will build this mansion.
gonna wanna stay there?
Thomas, the 2 beams and 3 nails are my cross. All who come to my cross in faith will enter a beautiful mansion I prepare for them. All who would come to the Father must come through the cross, for there is no other way.
So that's it. You're not going on a trip like to Cyprus or Rome. You're going away in the sense of death. And on a cross. Jesus, there has to be another way. That is just too shameful. It's too horrible.
For the world, yes. For all who can cling to this cross, no. This is the way to the Father in his mansion. By my death on the cross, you and all who believe in me will have a home in heaven forever. No one comes to the Father except through me.
No one comes to the Father except through you, Jesus. But the cross is just, it's much too offensive. And others will surely claim there are many ways. Just like they say all roads lead to Rome. Surely there are other roads to lead to the Father and his mansion.
Do you know what you're saying, Thomas? All have sinned, and so no one is worthy of a home in this mansion. That means that for everyone, entrance to the mansion is by God's grace. And if by grace, who is anyone to complain about a gracious gift? And Thomas, if there are many ways, then the Father has sent his Son to die on the cross for nothing. To sacrifice his Son when there are many other ways would make him a monster.
Well, I mean, no offense, Jesus. But still, some are going to say it's not fair. What are the multitudes of people who with great sincerity seek another way?
Fairness is when one gets what he deserves. Remember the woman who was caught in adultery in the very act? The religious leaders demanded that she be stoned to death. She had, after all, broken the law of God. I never disagreed. But do you remember what I told her accusers, Thomas?
Yes, I remember. You said, let the first one without sin cast the first stone.
And then what happened?
Then all of our accusers left.
Why do you suppose that was?
Because they had all sinned and deserved the same punishment.
Yes, Thomas. They all sinned and deserved death. If entrance to my Father's house were based on sincere attempts to live righteously, no one would enter, since all are sinners. That's what would be fair. But entrance into my Father's house isn't based on fairness. It is based on my Father's grace, and in grace he has provided a way, my death on the cross. Would you rather have fairness or grace, Thomas?
I would rather you not have to die, Jesus. But if you must, then let me die with you, so that I might enter this mansion now and not have to wait.
Thomas, you cannot come now. Someday you will, but for now you must remain and tell others of my love and death for them, that they might have life and home in the mansion.
But what if they won't believe? I mean, it's hard even for me to accept. How will I know this is true?
You've heard my words. You have seen my works. After my death on the cross, I will come to you again in person. Then you will know that I am the way and the truth and the life.
Oh, Jesus, I'm so tired. Can we talk more about this tomorrow?
No, Thomas, not tomorrow, but in 3 days we will.